Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for One Piece chapter 1046. When we last left our heroes, it was all Luffy versus Kaido, really getting to see how ridiculous Gear 5 is as a power. You know, Luffy is just like, he's turning into a giant to like use Kaido as a jump rope. He's like twisting the land around him. It's not without drawbacks, to be fair, as there's this moment where Luffy loses it and like ages like 50 years in a second. But he comes back to himself, he keeps going, but like it's somewhat unclear that Luffy can keep this up for long, and so things are still kind of stacked against him. But with that said, you know, there's not a whole lot to last chapter, it was just a lot of fun engaging in Luffy's powers. So with that said, let's dive right on in chapter 1046, Raizo. Who I thought we were kind of done with Raizo. Given last we saw him, he had won the match with Fukurokuju, and there was just not a whole lot of stuff left in Wano beyond Kaido. Anyway, our cover here is German 66's An Emotionless Excursion, Volume 9, Two Intruders in Pudding's Home, Chocolat Town. And I'm guessing those two intruders are, is it Reiju and Ichiji? Is Ichiji the brother who's not been captured? I'm assuming it's the other two of the Vinsmoke siblings. I think it's Yonji and Niji who have been captured, and I think this is Ichiji and Reiju here, but they're still in silhouette, so we can't really tell. Anyway, so when we last sort of left off, you know, Luffy had that line, "Don't you think this is fun, Kaido?" And Kaido, we see now as we pick up, is just sort of lying on the ground. You know, he's taken that hit. He's not gotten back up yet. But Luffy's just bouncing up and down. What do you think I should call that last one? Gum Gum what? I'm going to take a quick little look at what that last attack was. Give me a second while 1045 loads. Oh, it's the whirly tornado one where like he's twirling his fists around. So I think my vote is for Gum Gum Tornado, but who knows? But Kaido ignores the question. Ugh, I just have one question. And Luffy looks at him inquisitively. Kaido's looking pretty down here, though. But Kaido just, like, grabs his face and asks, "Who are you?" And Luffy, who, for his credit, doesn't know any of this stuff about him being the new Joy Boy, just sort of looks at Kaido confused. And then we cut to Zunisha, who is listening to Luffy's heartbeat. "How long it's been since I heard this rhythm, Joy Boy. Oh, Joy Boy. It's as though you're right there. My heart is dancing. I cannot help but feel that fate is at work. I cannot help but put my hopes in him." And I'm guessing Luffy can't hear this either. Even though Luffy does have access to the voice of all things, I guess Zunisha's just like not reaching out to Luffy or something. I'm still a little bit unclear as to how the voice of all things thing works. But Luffy just sort of responds to Kaido as Kaido gets back up, by the way. "Who am I? I'm Monkey D. Luffy, the man who will surpass you and become King of the Pirates." And I love this bottom panel on page 3. He's just like grinning at Kaido so, you know, deviously. But Kaido just taunts back, "I'm relieved to hear you've still got sass, Straw Hat. Awakening is what happens when your mind and body catch up to your powers. And those are certainly ridiculous powers." Has that definition of awakening been dropped before? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that, like, at a certain point, Luffy's has reached the sort of... He's never been able to fully do everything the Gum Gum Fruit can, and now he can. So I guess Gear 5 is the final gear form, if that's the case. But either way, Kaido goes on, "I've lost quite a lot. Much of what I've built up over the years. My followers, my castle. Same for you, right?" I mean, it's not quite, unless he's looking at Luffy as the, like, symbol of the Kozuki faction, because Luffy hasn't really lost that many followers over the years. He's only been caught up in the particular drama of Wano for, like, a couple months in universe time. How long has it been in universe since he met Kinemon and Momo way back on Punk Hazard? Either way, Luffy sort of ignores that sort of implication there and yells back, "But there's still something I gotta take back from you." But Kaido doesn't let him explain further and just starts, like, lunging with his club. "Kundali Dragon Swarm!" And Luffy lets out this habada bagada boofed. But then he just comes right back out with his own sort of, like, barrage of fists, take this! Oh, and we see that like there's a sense that we've seen in the past the past couple chapters, Luffy sort of extending his rubber to the world around him, and we sort of see that here happening with Kaido, and the way that like Luffy's, as he punches, these like bulges come out on the opposite side of Kaido. But Luffy just like stops for a minute and then coughs, and he seems sort of confused or something. And Kaido goes on, the battle is burning everything below, from the performance floor to the castle. There are thousands of your men trapped down there too. They will all burn to death. And Luffy looks back at him, nah, I left everyone else in charge down there. And he like Sonic the Hedgehog runs at Kaido. All I have to do is beat you. And so I want to take a moment to look at that sort of, nah, I left everyone else in charge down there, which to me is sort of implying this kind of, how do I phrase this? A more democratic system, I guess? Like, there's no one in charge. It's just like Luffy, I guess, is kind of the leader of the alliance, so to speak. But, like, he's delegating, he's not commanding. He's like, y'all just survive. You're going to be fine if you just, like, get out of there yourself or something. I don't know. I've been reading the final arc of Magi. And I'm really engaged by that arc, sort of stressing between Sinbad's whole sense of I'm the only one who can lead, as opposed to Alibaba's sense of I can't lead, but I can rely on everyone. And that's sort of, maybe I'm just like, because I'm so into that, mapping that dichotomy onto this conflict where it doesn't quite match. I don't know. Either way, Kaido readies the next attack, Demolition Gust. But Luffy just like stretches his legs so that like it goes under his body. Some good little cartoon physics there. But then we cut to the performance floor under the dome where the flames have spread. Here's another question though, because Kaido seems to imply that it's their battle that's burning everything below. Whereas I assume this was like part of Kazenbo or something. But I don't know. Performance floor under the dome. Put out the flames! It's beyond just the castle. All the towers are burning too! Then Chopper, who I think this is the first time I think we've seen him back to his normal size since he shrunk down. He finds Nami. Are you alright, Nami? What can we do? The fires are only getting bigger! And Nami runs out to like hug him. Chopper! Chopper goes on. And Zoro, and Sanji, and Frankie, and Usopp and Robin and Brook and Jinbe are all missing! Are they stuck in the fire? And that's the first that Nami's heard of any of them being lost. And freaks out. Oh no, really? But we can't even search for them, because all of Onigashima is burning at this point. We're in danger right here. Unless this island lands on the ground again, there's no escape. Which, given what happens if it does land on the ground, all those weapons I think will still go off. Or maybe Yamato's ice has like fully ended that threat. But still, an island collapsing on the ground is not great. Anyway, Chopper turns to Zeus. Zeus, can you make it rain? But Zeus protests, that fire will give me burns. Then we cut to the basement, where we see, I think it's the guy with the gorilla hand. I don't remember what his name was. It's too late. The flames are on all sides. There's no escape. Damn it all! Then we cut to the first floor, where Beppo is unconscious. I guess being a polar bear, he's not great with the heat. I can't take the heat. And he's being covered by being like carried by his crewmates. You're such a handful, Beppo. Man, it's hot though. Maybe we are done for. I can't imagine getting out alive. Help us, Captain. So yeah, we're sort of checking in on all the various groups here. We then move to the basement with Robin and Brook, who have been freed from being chased by CP0. But then we still have the samurai who are like apologetic to the duo. Whoa, oh you poor guy. We're so sorry. We have no words. Oh, they see Brook and they think he's been burned to death. And Brook says, what? Excuse me, I may be a corpse, but I'm not charred. And then he looks around. If only there were a way for all of us to escape. But Robin comments, but there might not be. I'm assuming this is somehow going to tie in with Raizo. Because this chapter is titled Raizo. And also, Flames had a big part in Raizo's match with Fukuro Kuju. So maybe that's going to tie into Raizo somehow like giving his life or something to save everyone. I don't know. We cut to the Pleasure Hall's left brain tower with Sanji. I think he and the courtesans look around. Whoa, there's no getting out this way. The entire garden's gone. And in the basement, we see who turns out to be one of the numbers, freaking out about his like burnt hand. EBBB. And Apu yells at him, "Don't complain about how hot it is. Break down the wall or we're gonna die. You want a working arm or do you want to live?" I think this is EB is the number. EB? What is that size good for if you want to use it? Moron! And EB just like gets angry at Apu now. EBB! Oh yeah? You want to fight? Then we get to the basement, another part of the basement, with Usopp and Hamlet here. And Usopp uses an attack to like try to put out the fire. Special attack, green star, sprinkler! And it pours out some water, but the flower is quickly burnt up in the flames. As Usopp just freaks out, ah! And Hamlet gets onto him. It's literally a drop in a bucket, and we need a lot more than a bucket. And Usopp counters, "Shut up! I gotta do something. I made a promise to Izo. I want to save Kin and Kiku, and while we're at it, I want to save myself." And Hamlet protests, "We're gonna include my name in that list too, boss." Poor Hamlet. No one cares about him but me. We love you, Hamlet. The right brain tower we cut to now with Frankie and Zoro. Zoro's still unconscious, of course, but Frankie calls out, How is there this much fire in the castle? Also, I might be misreading this because it's sort of hard to see. What with all like the lines. So look at Zoro's body in that bottom left panel on page 10, right? You can see what should be Zoro's arms, like he's draped over Frankie, right? But it looks like on his left arm, around here or so, it looks like it might be cut off. I'm not sure how that would have happened. And it might just be like there's just a whole bunch of lines there. And there might just be some weird detail I can't work out. Or it's like blood stain. He's dripping blood onto Frankie. I don't know. Anyway, Frankie's running. He has this whole like crew of, I think, the tamed gifters behind him. Where am I supposed to go? I gotta get this guy to Chopper. Zoro's life is in danger. And they're all calling after him. Help us, bro! We're all gonna burn before that happens. And Frankie shouts back, "You keep whining like that and I'll show you a burn." Then we come to the fourth floor with Jinbe and someone. As the someone calls, "I am prepared, Sir Jinbe. I appreciate your faith in me." And Jinbe tells him, "Luffy chose you, samurai, for our alliance. Why would I doubt you? Now come." Very well. And it's Raizo, our titular character here. "If anything, I am the one putting my trust in you. I have been prepared for this, ever since that fateful day." And we cut to the night that the Kozuki castle burned. And he's running through the fire looking for... He and Kawamatsu and Kinemon running through the fire looking for Toki. "Ah! Lady Toki! Lord Momonosuke! Lady Hiyori!" And yeah, they fail to actually save them at the time, of course. For a second there, I thought that might be like... whatever he's about to do would tie into Toki in a more direct way. But it seemed like it's just like a memory of his past failure. As Raizo says, "Freddy's like a jutsu. I failed to protect Lord Odin that day. I left his family exposed to the flames of the burning castle. And despite my ninjutsu, I failed to protect a single one of them. I utterly shamed myself. But I swore never to let that happen again. And so..." And then we have this flashback of when he like first arrives on Zou. When he first came to the present. It's Zou, and he's with Inuarashi. "Inuarashi, what is this rain? Zunisha is bathing. What a deluge! May I take some of it?" I guess that Zunisha sucked up the water with his trunk and flips it onto the city behind him. But Raizo goes on, "I refuse to allow anyone who undertook this righteous raid to perish to mere flames. I've left you waiting long enough. Witness a flood that will have you doubting your very eyes. Ninpo, scroll jutsu. The elephant's bath, nin. And you get to scroll out and just summons this whole, deluge from it. Restoration! And this big-ass wave heads towards Jinbe. And Jinbe just... Sorry, I got a little bit distracted. For a second there, I was like, hold on. was there a devil fruit that Raizo had, or is this just like tying into more ninja lore without really commenting on how it might affect the One Piece lore? And then a quick Google search, and yes, you just have a scroll fruit, which, makes sense. Anyway, that aside, the water heads towards Jinbe, and Jinbe comments, "This is a big one. Water heart." And he grabs the water. Fishman Jujitsu. Ocean current shoulder throw. And he, I guess, shoulder throws the water and sends it. Oh, he's directing the water. Because they're at the top. They're at the 4th floor. And I guess what they're going to do is send the water down below. So that this giant bit of water that Raizo has collected puts out all the fire. And we come to the 3rd floor with some more of the gifters. It's another dead end. We can't go on, BB. And this gorilla guy comments, "What's the point of this battle if you let a few sparks beat you? Did someone run around committing arson or what?" And then Raizo and Jinbei's water just comes for them, covering them, but also putting out the fire. And it reaches the 2nd floor now. Jinbei calls, "Flush out the entire castle!" And over with Raizo, who's just praying, "Let it be in time. Save everyone, Water of Zo." And we got to the 1st floor with Killer, who has been somewhat unconscious since his fight with Hawkins. And tells his crew, "Let me down, boys. Wah wah!" And one of his crewmates tells him, "Please, Killer, at least let us do this for you. Wah wah wah!" I'm still never entirely sure how I feel about the detail that the Killer pirates have all started doing Killer's laugh. Especially because we know that Killer hated his laugh. That's why he never laughed before he had the smile. But either way, yow! Where do we go though? There's no escape. It's really rumbling. That rumbling is, of course, the water coming for them. It's water! We're saved! And then we cut to I think, Yamato. "Hurry, Momonosuke!" "Huh? Why? Kaido is still alive!" And as we're seeing the devastation, everything's sort of crumbling and burning, Yamato goes on, "It can't hold any longer. The flame clouds won't last." But Yamato, that's Momo's line, maybe. And Yamato goes on, "You have to make flame clouds to keep Onigashima aloft. It's always been the only solution." And Momo's just stunned. What? And Luffy, back in that fight, grabs a fucking lightning bolt. I guess when you're made of rubber, it doesn't actually hurt you. And Gear 5 somehow lets him grab it. Onigashima is going to fall. And we see Luffy and Kaido smile at each other as their fight continues. To be continued. See you in 2 weeks. We're off next week. Okay. So, let's look at this chapter. So I will admit, Raizo is one of those characters I don't really think that much about. He's far from my favorite of the Akazaya. He's just sort of the ninja guy, is really all I think of him. But I do like, it's not out of nowhere that he would have this backup plan. The burning of the Kozuki Castle is this defining failure in his life. And so, of course, he would be prepared for that exact circumstance. And he got lucky. The castle is burning down again. And as a result, thanks to him and Jinbe, they're seemingly able to save everything. Though, not quite yet. As we see, the water hasn't yet reached the performance floor. There's still this, Jinbe has this question on page 15. Or no, Raizo has the line, "Let it be in time." As if it might not be. As if it might still be too late. Especially the way that Momo and Yamato conversation is. There's this sense that, Kaido's flame clouds are giving out. The island is falling apart as well. Both of those things, so I'm trying to remember exactly why Momo is so shocked here. Because I thought the idea was that he would make the flame clouds in advance so that when Kaido fell, he would just already have the flame clouds. Maybe it's his flame clouds can only last for a while, so at some point he got the idea that once Kaido falls, when Kaido is about to fall, he makes the flame clouds, and then he can just put it down without having to fight Kaido's clouds or something. I don't know. it's a weird little. I'm a little lost on the exact details of like Momo's confusion in particular, but there's this sense that the sense we get through this chapter, we don't progress the fight very much, which is a shame. But there's this sense that time is running out for everyone. If Luffy doesn't stop this now, even if he beats Kaido, everything collapses. And maybe Jinbe will like stop that from being such an immediate threat, thanks to him and Raizo's water attack. But I don't know. That remains to be seen. The way the chapter like focuses on so many characters, just seeing them all dealing with the fire, makes it seem like this is sort of a do or die moment for everyone except for Luffy and Kaido on the roof and Momo and Yamato who are outside. And with that, like, maybe everyone's saved? It's a little hard to tell. Like, maybe that did it. Maybe that saved everyone. But also, the fires are still there for that last little chopper panel. But I don't know. The end is coming. It's increasingly clear that the end it's getting there. It's not here yet. It'll be a little while, I bet. But we are getting closer and closer to that climax. And just, like, the tension is ramping. It's just... The tension is ramping up and up and up and up. And it's not long until it all bursts, until the fight ends, until Kaido is fallen, until Wano is saved, assuming we can deal with the Marines right outside our door. But yeah, all in all, I don't have a lot of thoughts in this chapter. It's not the same sort of, like, pure fun that last week's was, but it's still good. There's still a lot of good shit here. And, it's going to be a long 2 weeks to see what happens next. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!